I don't remember when I first took a class, but this is what I remember, and it's when it was about the time that I was about to start taking classes, and my mother used to teach all of the classes.
Absolutely.
And so lots of time on Saturdays, I was a studio kid. I would sit in the studio and color all day, and I remember her being pregnant with my brother, who was 6 years younger than me, so I was about 5. She was teaching and she was jumping, and even in my 5-year-old mind, I thought, she's supposed to be doing that? I don't think she's supposed to be doing that like that. But it was the year after that that I started classes, but I really don't remember that first year of creative movement class. After the first year, I went to Dayton Ballet. I studied at the Dayton Ballet for my first 6 years because I think my mother just thought it was best that she didn't teach her own child. I do fondly remember my years with Miss Hermine and Miss Joe and John and Bess at Dayton Ballet. The dance world is shrinking.
It is.
And the money for the dance world is shrinking. And so everybody is really protective of their own. They're good, but we are too, so book me. Not in a malice way, but this is about survival of the fittest.
Absolutely,
And if you're an African-American company that's not AILE, you know, which there are 5 across the country, then people see us as interchangeable, which we're really not. We all have a different branding and a different signature, which are all good, but which are all very, very different. So, no, just because you had Philadelphia in last year doesn't mean you can't bring DCDC in the same year or in the next year. This year we invested a boatload of money in Revisioning 45. And it was worth the investment.
Absolutely.
And, you know, the program in February was one of the best programs that I can note in the history of Dayton Contemporary Dance Company. Well, if I can't tour it anywhere, you know, I've just paid to create a product that doesn't have a shelf life. You know, one performance, hundreds of thousands of dollars, that doesn't make sense. So it affects it in that way. And what we find is between the companies, it's either feast or famine. You know, either I have a season where I'm touring to 23 cities, or I have a season where I'm touring to barely 3 cities. And so my strategic thought process now is there has to be an in-between. There has to be a number, a minimum number that we have to have. 20 years ago, when I got in the company, I was 12 years old, and everybody's like, oh my God, you got in the company at 12 years old. Well, yes, I did, but I didn't get into this existing company at 12 years old. 12 years old, I grew, the artist grew, and the company all grew up at the same time. Now when I'm looking for dancers, I'm looking for dancers that have a blend of youth, energy, and maturity. That's hard.
That is hard.
Because in order to do our rep, that's who you have to be. And no company across the nation can afford to pay a body for a year to get up to speed. Anybody that you're going to offer a contract to has to be able to take the stage. They got to be there. Dayton Contemporary Dance Company is still an anomaly. I still have dancers that come in and stay 13, 14 years. And it's because of what we provide. It's because of the challenge that we provide to the dancer as artists. It's because of, you know, the aesthetic impact they get from the choreography we choose to create. It's because of how we stand on, you know, being authentic to the work that we do, because it's not about the money. You know, it's not about the money, but it is because the cost of living, when you compare the cost of living of Dayton, Ohio to someplace like New York, that has a huge dance base, Chicago, Los Angeles, you know, it's not comparable. I think the audiences are always in awe of what we do and how we do it. We have bigger audiences away from here though. What I've seen in my lifetime in this career is that dance does truly cross all boundaries. All boundaries. Yes. And it's been, for me, it's been so great to experience it from every vantage point that I've been able to experience it. And I think because it's been so full and so rich for me, that when I decide to walk away, when I'm finished doing what I think that I want to do there, I'll be able to walk away with no regrets, with no, oh, I wish I would have, fill in the blank. I think what we're trying to do is make our audiences more comfortable with contemporary art, and this art form just happens to be dance. And so sometimes really what we want you to do is watch what we're doing and take away your own impression from it like you would a painting. And so I know that a lot of people kind of shy away from it because it's like, well, I don't understand it and I don't get it, and
what am I supposed to
feel? And nobody wants to pay $45 to not feel very smart about the experience that you've just had. So we try to do some post-performance stuff. We try to do some pre-performance stuff. We try to let you deeper into the world of what we're doing. It's a process, I think, of trying to present some opportunities where people can come into the inside and sort of learn a little more, but that intimidates people too. Our studio, we have an open studio policy 99% of the time, unless I'm just losing my mind and I'm, know that my rehearsal is not going to be public, ready. But you can come to DCDC studio almost anytime and, view a part of the process. You can't always talk to me or the dancers, and we set up special occasions for that. But this company is of this community and for this community, and so I always want to make us as accessible as we can be, and that's why I'm the only dance company around here that will dance anywhere. I won't dance on hot coals and I won't dance on a bed of nails, but I'll take my company almost anywhere, because I do think the art form is for the people. And I don't believe anymore that if you build it, they will come. I know better than that. And so we dance in all sort of school classrooms, people's living rooms, conference rooms, picnic areas, weddings. Our genre, the way that we express our art form, allows us to cross over all of those boundaries. And so I had somebody call me up the other day and say, I'm getting married, I would really like the company to perform. And I'm thinking to myself, now you're calling and you want a professional company to perform, there's a price tag to that. So I'm like, once I throw the price tag out, they'll say, oh, no. But I did, and they said, okay.
Now you're dancing in a way.
Now but that's okay.
It's exactly
because if they feel that they want that particular art form expressed in that way, we're certainly the best people to do it.
Yeah.
And so why not? And I think what makes me a really, really good artistic director for DCDC right now is the culmination of all the things that I've learned. I spent a lot of time in the administrative side, which most artistic directors don't. So I am able to see the bottom line theory as well as I'm able to see, the creative artistic, side of it. And I think that makes me the excellent person for this job right now. And so I don't get to spend as much time creating or even in the studio. I have a fantastic artistic staff. So I don't worry so much when I'm not in the studio. I tell everybody that when I got this job as the artistic director, it's not the job that I thought I was going to get. You're like, oh, when I'm the artistic director, when I'm the boss, I'm going to be able to do exactly what I want to do. We're going to be able to do whatever the pieces that I want to do. It's not like that. Money and resources get in the way. And that's not new, and that's not specific to Dayton Contemporary Dance Company. Right. Our budget is probably, about $1.3 million a year. I say, if I could have $1.3 million sitting in the bank on July 1, which is the beginning of our fiscal year,
Right.
the ability to be able to do the job for all of us, especially administration, without our shoulders up around our ears, worrying about if we're going to be able to pull off this fabulous season that we created. You know, paper money is one thing, real money is another thing. But I mean, I would say over the past 3 years, resources, economic resources. We have a huge education offering. And when I became artistic director, and we've done education since the beginning of time. It's not new for us. We didn't just start creating it. What I said in my vision plan is that I wanted it to sit equally in a triangle with being a touring company, a performance main stage proscenium company, and a company that offers really, really wonderful education opportunities. So, and education has been a new, pretty consistent income stream for us.
Good.
Over the past 4 or 5 years. I mean, we hired a person, an education and outreach person, that's their, you know, responsibility. But we go into the classrooms. We create curriculum that uses dance as the vehicle that sort of speaks to the Ohio State standards.
Right.
We look at our community. We see where we're weak. We've created this wonderful program that goes with the 3rd grade guarantee that, you know, all students have to be at a certain level before they can go past the 3rd grade. So we created arts integrated curriculum that help them to address those things, because what we do know is that everyone is not a sit down at your desk learner, that more people, but particularly students than we think, are kinesthetic learners. So them learning how to do a number line by creating it with their body teaches them in a different way than having it on their desk in the way that we learned. So we're in the classrooms a lot. I mean, if you just happen to be in the neighborhood and you're driving by DCDC and you come to the desk and you say, well, I heard your artistic director say that you have an open door policy, they would walk you right in the studio. Internally, we just have made it our mission to like dig our heels in and try to educate. I mean, sometimes it's one person at a time. Sometimes it's you hearing me say this today. We do need your help. This company does belong to the community at large, but particularly to the African American community. We're rooted in the African American experience. Geraldine has had the offer, she had the offer at least 2 times to move this company to another place. She said no, absolutely not. I built this company in Dayton, Ohio for a reason, and it's important for me to stay here. Me, 2nd generation, 3rd artistic director, you know, I don't want to say that I could be swayed easier, but the economics of it, if someone would say to me, bring your company here, you don't have to worry about the budget. I would think about it in a different way than she would think about it. But I think at the end of the day, I still want to be here. I still believe that this company deserves an African American arts organization, the quality that Dayton Contemporary Dance Company is. I mean, we have a worldwide reputation. Every time we leave Dayton, Ohio, we're carrying the whole community with us, and we're really proud of that.